We've heard the saying that there must be something in the water because we have so many talented artists that call Southwest Louisiana home. It shouldn't be surprising because of our beautiful natural landscapes and signature culture. Those very things are the source of inspiration for Moss Bluff native Shannon Simmons, and I'm so pleased to have him joining us today to sharing your artwork with us. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Shannon, one thing that I notice about your paintings is there's not one definitive style that you work in. Why do you work in so many different styles?
Well, there's so many different subjects that artists can tap into, and I think just each different subject requires a different approach. And
what kind of mediums and surfaces do you work on? Because that seems just as diversified as the subject matter.
yeah, I use oil paints on canvas and linen. I also work on wood panels, kind of like some of the old masters did. And I also use industrial style paints as well, like oil-based enamels, and I mix those with different materials.
You produce a lot of glazes and things that are sort of signature to your work.
That's right. Yeah, you get some different looks. When you get outside the realm of just your standard oil materials, your artist materials, you can get different effects using different things.
And they're very, very beautiful pieces. I know right now you've got some on display at 1910 Restaurant in downtown Lake Charles.
Right.
And where else can people find you?
Shannon Simmons Fine Art on Facebook.
Okay, that's a good spot to start there. I know that you update that very, very frequently. Something that I notice is the palette that you seem to work in. There are a lot of deep greens and ochre colors that sort of reflect the landscape that we see out our back doors.
I think so. I think it was part of like growing up and spending time out, Sam Houston Park in the forest and swamps, and just kind of internalizing that. I think it kind of just sticks with you, regardless of what you paint or whatever. I think that's going to be infused in there.
As something that I've noticed, of course, a lot of Southwest Louisiana painters do focus on those very obvious and iconic imagery, such as landscape paintings of the bayous and the waterways and the natural habitats and birds and wildlife. Your paintings aren't as obvious. There's something that's hidden about Louisiana in there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think those are all wonderful subject matters, but just from being into art for as long as I have and studying it, there's other subject matter out there that also interests me as well. But I certainly love all those things, and I think those things come through my art. You know, even though I'm not painting maybe a crawfish or alligator or something like that, I think the experience of seeing them are in some of my pictures. When
did you get started painting?
I've been painting probably since my early 20s. I've been painting for probably 25, 30 years.
And you're giving away your age now.
That's quite okay. I'm fine with that.
We are seeing some pictures right now of some new images that you're working on. You're working in a new color palette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm working more, like you said, ambers and greens. Some of the pictures in the past are kind of brighter, vibrant, and there's just something more mysterious about this new palette I'm working in, and I think it pulls from spending time out in the woods and things like that, being in nature. So I like it. I think they're turning out really nice, and it's been a different challenge for me.
Well, it's obvious that you've got a definitive process that you use. What is your process?
I try not to ever draw anything out and paint it. I like to start with some colors I know that'll work together, and I'll work them on my surface, and I really try to let the process dictate what might happen. I mean, the picture could turn out to be anything, and I try not to bully the subject matter, but what I usually end up with is something that I'm satisfied with, and I think is quite attractive to look at, if not mysterious.
What does abstract art mean to you?
Oh, it's maybe it's painting an experience you've had, like if you were to go spend time out in the woods and come out and you've experienced fresh air and birds chirping and whatnot, you're more concerned about painting that experience and that sensation rather than just drawing what you saw while you were there, which I think is an ambitious approach to art.
It is an ambitious approach. You're obviously an ambitious artist, and we thank you so much for coming by and sharing these with us.
It's been a pleasure.
Lots of fun having you here in the studio today.